Everyone, welcome to MJS Coaching Football. Thank you for watching my channel. I really appreciate it. Coach Sullivan here, defensive coordinator, and I hope that your 2021 season was as successful as ours was. Today, in this 3-4 presentation, I want to talk to you about how we defend the slant slide concept that we call California out of our match quarters variation that we call grade 2. Okay? It's a different way to play the concept because it's a different variation of our match quarters. Okay, so over here, I'll go through the key terms so you can better understand how it is we defend the slant slide, or what we call California, out of our grade 2. Then over here, I'll actually bring it to life for you by illustrating both the concept and then how we defend it. Okay. So first, before I even get to the key terms, why do we call it California? Well, in our system, we try and use code names for everything, including past concepts. So what we do is we use state names, and then in cases like California, regions within the state of California that people associate with California. So, in other words, we have California slant slide. Our slant bubble we call Napa, right? At Napa Valley, California, just to give you one example. Okay. So in a game, it's a lot easier just to say, hey, California here, right? California. And our players know means nothing to the offense, instead of saying, okay, slant slide. And then, first of all, it's one more word. But in addition, you're now telling the offense, here's what we're preparing for, right? So it gives them a chance to potentially audible out of it. So, okay. So California for us means slant slide. So I'll refer to it both ways. All right. So the first key term in our system is the surface, right? Well, what is the surface? It's the offensive line, right? Tackle to tackle. And when there's a tight end, the tight end becomes part of the surface, right? Eligible number, eligible receiver, but still part of the surface, right? If it's a running play, tight end's a big part of the blocking scheme. All right, so all of our defenders in this presentation read the surface, read the offensive line. Okay, so that's huge. That tells us run, pass, and direction. So that when I get to the diagram, that's going to be a big part of it. When our guys see this, see the hi-hat, even if it's a hard set on the line, it's still a pass set. All right, that's what kicks everything into motion. Okay. The number 2, right, since this is in grade 2, that match quarters variation, our outside linebacker and inside linebacker, they're the ones who are reading and reacting to number 2. Okay. That's grade 2. How many defenders are reading 2, right? Well, it's outside, inside linebacker on both sides. So we tell them is, hey, read number 2. He tells you what to do. Read number 2. He tells you what to do. That goes back to my playing days at UMass Amherst, Coach Reed. If he's not the best, in my opinion, obviously I play for him, he's one of the best defensive minds in college football ever. So number 2 in the slant slide concept is going to do a slide route. And number 1 is going to do a slant route. So, non-subscribers push the button, right? But in the grade 2 premise presentation, the inside-outside linebacker read 2 to 1. 2 to 1. Sometimes it's just number 2 because that's all they need. Other times it's going to be 2. Oh, now I got to go to 1. Okay, so you'll see that in this particular presentation. All right, the outside linebacker is going to see 2, and that's all they need. The inside linebacker is going to see 2. Oops, what's 1 doing? Okay. And overall, again, this is the slant slide concept that we call California, right? So number 3 term, our outside linebackers will cut and carry number 2. I'll go over that in the diagram. Our inside linebackers, after they see 2 and progress to 1, will cut and wall 1. The cornerbacks will bump and deliver 1. And then they'll get their eyes to the running back. Okay, this is the big tweak here between grade 4 and grade 2, as you'll see shortly. And then the safeties will end up sit and zit, read quarterback indicator. Sit and zit, read quarterback indicator, which brings me to this. Remember, right? Subscribers, the corners and safeties, bracket number 1. Unless. And today is an unless scenario. Okay? I'm a huge believer in that. To simplify the process. To get your players to play fast with their feet, they're going to be able to play fast up here. Secondary, bracket 1 unless. You're going to bracket them unless. Okay? And that today is an unless scenario. All right, so the first thing that I will do now, I'll progress over to here, the diagram, is I will diagram the route concept in red. Okay? Number 2 is going to run the slide behind what is usually a 3-step slant from 1. We're not talking red zone goal line here where it might be a 1-step or maybe even a no-step, just a head and shoulder, right, to get off the jam. Not 3-step slant. Slide, butt side of the 3-step slant, right? So there's the slant-slide concept. So now, right, let's get to the surface. First thing, all of the guys involved, the secondary and the inside-outside linebackers, see that it's a hi-hat, it's a pass. So now they kick into their read from there, okay? So inside-outside linebackers are reading too. Safety initially, right, mirrors the release of 2. So we'll take care of that first. They're going to start to zone off. But the corners and the safeties, right, they're bracketing number 1. So I'm going to start with what the safety and the corners do, the DBs. I have a press example here and an off example there, just so you can see the 2 different techniques, all right? So here, we're in our zone press. We're going to use our offhand jam. So if I'm on the left, my left hand's going to jam the receiver, okay? And the receiver, I'll be tempo here, and then now when he starts on his slant route, I will deliver it. I'll keep upfield leverage, zone leverage, but now my eyes go to the running back. Let's just say he's sitting in protection there, okay? All right, so that's the deliver. We don't just say, oh, pass him off and stop. That's too big a window, right? He's going to start slow zone off. When he sees number 1, that's when he sits and zits. And then he reads quarterback indicator so he can break accordingly. Sit and zit, sit and zit. Again, the receiver stem, they're not going to have a chance really to sell vertically hard in 3 steps. It's not that easy to do. So we always tell them, you're at 12 yards, you got a head start, don't be in a hurry. This is a walk, pedal, zone off. Walk, walk, boom. Walk, walk, boom. The walk is based off of surface first to 2, surface to 2. Tells me where I need to be. Okay, walk to 1, and that allows me the opportunity to see. Especially when we got a bump situation here. The off man he's not taking any pedal steps. We say take the charge. He's not going to be able to do that, but nonetheless, he's still going to deliver it, which means he will then plant and drive on it, getting his eyes to the running back. Okay? So that's the DBs, how they do it. Righty? So now when they see that the running back is not coming to them, then they can just continue to deliver. Right? If the running back's not coming to them, there's no reason for them to not stay on the upfield shoulder number 1. So they do. Okay, and again, slant slide, this is quick. Ball's got to be gone. 2.1, 2.2, 2.3 seconds tops. Right? Ball's going to be gone. So now let's get to, and I'll do this in green, let's get to the outside linebackers, right? Surface to 2. 2's out. Cut and carry. That's automatic. There it is. Boom, done. You're going to throw hands. You're going to hear pass. The rover's the one that's locked into the tight end, but he's going to hear pass screamed. Cut and carry. Boom, done. Right, pretty easy. So now the inside linebackers, in blue. Yep, we're working good. Surface, pivot, two's out. So now they're going to work out to number one. They see the slant. They're going to cut it. All right, pivot, two's out. Work out to number one, cut and pivot. So you have essentially an inside-out bracket on the slant route, which is the easiest for the quarterback. You're pretty much making them throw the out route. Okay, see how that works? And then if the slant were to continue, he'll baseball turn, and he'll continue to have the inside out, or it's not really a high-low, but you have inside vertical leverage on it. It's covered, right? And the ball better be gone by then, or he's in trouble. So that is how, in grade 2, we're going to cover the slant slide concept. So the hardest thing, as I said in the premise presentation, is to get your corners not to get their eyes on 2 and want to come up and match 2 in grade 4. So there's your big difference. Instead of the corner coming up and matching and the outside linebacker getting under 2 and the inside linebackers key rushing the running back, it's a whole different look. Entirely different look. And that's the built-in disguise in the coverage. So as I said at the beginning, thank you for watching MJS Coaching Football. I really appreciate it. Any questions at all, subscribers and non-subscribers, about grade 2 versus California, the slant slide concept, please reach out to me at CoachMJSullivan@gmail.com because I would love to talk football with you.